Today I'm at Dorney Park to go on the state's newest roller coaster, Iron Menace, as well as to check out this historic amusement park. How's it going, everyone? It's David here, and let's go in and try to have some fun. Good afternoon, Dorney Park. I got here at about 3 o'clock today. This place is absolutely packed here, although I think most of them are in the water park. Just have a couple priorities here today, but we'll see how much we can get done. Today, I am sporting a classic Cedar Point shirt right next to a carousel that used to operate at Cedar Point. And speaking of Cedar Point, my oh my, does this look familiar. So driving into the park, Iron Menace already made a huge impression, and we're now walking into the steel yard. It looks like they really cleaned this place up. And there's Iron Menace right there next to Possessed, and it's definitely imposing looking. Okay, just had my very first ride here on Iron Menace. I got to sit in the front seat in the dead center, actually. It's 7 across, so it was definitely a little weird sitting right in the middle of the track. But I'll tell you what, it was short, it was smooth, it was punchy, it had intense moments. I liked it. This is a smaller dive coaster, very similar to Emperor at SeaWorld San Diego, which I did a couple years ago. I really enjoyed that one, and I have very similar thoughts to this one as well. Probably one of my favorite things is actually the theming for this. It's themed to an abandoned steel mill, and it has thematic lights and sound effects in the station and going up the lift hill. Nothing during the actual ride course itself, but it had a beyond vertical drop. Got some nice air going down. The loops were nice and intense. It was short, sweet, and to the point. I think it's a good ride. I really don't have much to complain about.
Not bad job, but she's hanging with Bethany and Xavier. Xavier, he doesn't like.
They even rethemed the flying scooter ride, and it's appropriately titled the MT Buckets. Dorney still has their Intimate Impulse coaster and a little bit of Geog Lake history too. This was once Superman.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed your ride.
Once your train has come to a full and complete stop.
It's not every day you get to ride a roller coaster during its 100th year of operation. Coaster, now known as Thunderhawk, is 100 years old this year. And I just want to say that the park did a really good job commemorating the ride. All throughout the plaza, in the queue line, in the station, there are 100-year banners. In the queue line, there is the history of the ride. They even put signs on the front of the trains and right here on the station. And as for the ride itself, while a little bumpy here and there, not too bad. Definitely re-rideable. And there were definitely some moments where it really jolted you to the side, and I even had one ejector pop midway in the ride. There is a trim brake at the end of the ride that does kind of slow the pacing towards the end, but it's a solid wooden roller coaster. Really, really like that.
Please do not push, pull, or lean against the gates. They are automatic. Use the same little cluster on your feet.
Once your train has come to a full and complete stop.
Well, just got off of Pennsylvania's other Morgan hypercoaster, Steel Force, and that is definitely the best ride in this park. This ride is still running very smooth. A couple moments of positive G's around that helix, and that first drop and all the airtime hills, it was floater airtime city. It was really good. It was a long ride. Again, very, very smooth. It looks very similar to Magnum over at Cedar Point. I still prefer Magnum. It is definitely rougher, but it does give it character and has more of a wow, oh my goodness feeling. This Steel Force, it's just plain fun, and there's nothing wrong with that. So good, so good. Definitely want to go ride that again. So right behind me is a ride that used to operate at Cedar Point, Demon Drop. This is a first generation drop tower. And as a kid, this was one of my favorite rides at Cedar Point. I would do it over and over again. And they moved it here to Dorney Park, and it looks like they literally just picked it up and plopped it down. Like the sign, the station, the ride structure looks identical to when it was at Cedar Point. Even the placement on the midway at the angle it is identical. And for the ride experience itself, you are basically in a metal cage. It's making all sorts of weird noises, banging around. And I'm just gonna say this. This is a ride that puts fear into the heart of men. One of the scariest rides I have ever rode. Like, actually came off shaking a little bit. But I mean that in a fun way. I loved it. I still loved it. Is it a good ride? Technically not. By today's standards, it is rough, it is uncomfortable. The operations are just so wonky, as you can hear. It's just banging, sounds like it's falling apart. But for what it is, I love it. There's not too many of these anymore. I'm glad Dorney still has this. And yeah, for me at least, this is a not miss ride here at Dorney. Demon Drop. If you still want to get your modern drop tower kick, Dorney Park still has you covered with Dominator. Okay, just got off of a flat ride here called Apollo. And if you are a Kennywood local, this may look familiar. This is the same type of ride that was the swing around. Oh my goodness, that ride was so much fun. Man, that brought back so many memories with that. And I'll tell you what, I think that is better than the newer incarnation, Spinvasion. Snake River Falls may have just closed at Cedar Point, but a near identical clone is still running here at Dorney Park. This one called Whitewater Landing. My text message? Yeah. Okay, just got off of Hydra the Revenge, a B&M floorless coaster, and I didn't even think it was that bad. Not the most intense B&M looper out there, but it's definitely an interesting layout. My favorite part of the ride is absolutely the JoJo roll when you're going out of the station. I mean, you're just hanging there, but it's a decent ride. They have a ride just like Aero 360. This one is called Meteor. Okay, made my final ride here at Dorney Park on Talon, the Grip of Fear. That is an excellent B&M inverted coaster. Very smooth, and that layout is very intense and whippy. Not very inversion based, it only has 4 inversions, but it makes up for it by having some really tight helixes and even a couple of airtime moments, which airtime is not usually a sensation you get on these inverted coasters. Oh, definitely one of the best rides here. And that's going to do it here from a quick visit to Dorney Park. This was really just a pit stop here, but honestly, I had a really fun night here. Got on most of the rides that I wanted to. Highlights were definitely the new Iron Menace. That's a really good fit for this park. Steel Force is a lot better than I remember, and so is Talon. And walking around the park, hanging out with some family and friends, it was just a really good all-around evening. Now, as for Dorney Park itself, I think it's operated mostly well. The ops on the rides could be a little faster. And it's clean and well presented, but it definitely has that corporate park feel. Especially for a park of this age, it doesn't have the character of, say, a park like Kennywood or Knoebels. But I can still appreciate that they do try to highlight some of the history scattered throughout the park. Prime example was Thunderhawk from today. But overall, good visit to Dorney Park, and hopefully try to get back here soon. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it and subscribe for more amusement park content. And with that being said, thank you all for riding, and I'll see you next time.